and welcome back to Max Regen, where JB, the EV evangelist, tries to convert me, Dave the petrol head, to be an electric car convert. This week we're not out on the road because we thought we'd look at some other points that are bugging me, to be entirely honest, and having gone through everything that I can think of, most of them are related to charging the damn thing up.
So this is charging, not the usual questions, and a few potential questions back to the industry, really.
Yeah, so charging points. They just look a bit weird and they don't look like a fuel stop or anything like that. Could do with making them look like a car charging place as opposed to just another parking space in the car park.
Yeah.
Because one of the things everybody complains about is man in petrol car turns up and ices your
an internal
space.
combustion engine car parked in your slot. Yeah, it's a good point actually, Dave. I think how to do this, how to deal with this and make it more usable. First thing is that when you go and get petrol and it's pouring with rain, you get out of your car under a canopy. And I don't remember the last time I filled a petrol car up and I wasn't stood in under a canopy. So come on, industry, why can't we have canopies? What's wrong with putting a canopy over the charging points? That has two really good features. A, it means we don't have to get wet when we're charging. And the other point is that when the weather's bright and sunshiny like this, you cannot see the screen. So come on guys, let's have a canopy. I know there are new sort of supercharging or rapid charging points going up with overhead canopies to some extent. There's one at Milton Keynes, one going up at Braintree in Essex. They're good, I mean, but there's only a few of those so far. But ecotricity points and Shell recharge, I mean the one I use regularly, you're outside. So my question for the industry is, can we put these things under cover so that we can shade the screen and so we can actually see what's going on and make it easier to charge?
The other thing with it is, going back to the rain, I remember seeing you hilariously standing in the pouring rain while you tried to start the car charging, and you had to swipe your card on the screen.
On the Genie point, that's right.
And it got stuck because
the rain.
And watching
was so
you
wet.
try and pick that off is a comedy moment that I will live with me forever.
Yeah.
But,
it sounds silly, but it's important. If you've got to swipe an RFID card against a very flat glass screen
that's wet
in the rain, it will stick to it, and you've then got to get your fingernails around the outside and peel it off. I mean, it sounds silly, but you don't have to do this when you're filling a petrol car with petrol.
Well, no. And the other thing you don't have to do when you're filling a car with petrol is all these different apps and different cards that you need. Yeah,
we've definitely got to have a common way to pay for electricity for our electric car, and the apps and the RFID cards, they're just an irritation. They're just making it difficult. Not everyone is really technical and can figure out all the different ways to charge your car. You know, there are a lot of people out there who, if they want to use a car, they just want to drive somewhere and drive back again and charge where they need to charge. They don't want it to be extra complicated. It might be a reason why people won't buy an electric car, because it's just such a faff, and it is a faff at the moment. So the first thing is to be able to use a contactless card, which is simple and everybody's got one.
Yep.
And the next thing is, charging points are not like fuel pumps. You pass a fuel station, the chance of you being able to fuel up is high, more than 90%.
Yeah.
You know, the chance of them not having any fuel or the pump not powered up or working is low. When we get to a point, there could be only 2 or 3 pumps, and whether they're working or not is really important. This is where the apps come in. Things are having apps now. Apps are going to become standardized. We've got apps for everything: banking,
I'm
booking a
surprised
train
there
ticket.
isn't an app to go to the toilet.
Well, there is Flush, how to find a free toilet.
Now, why
Go
doesn't
and
it
use
surprise
Flush.
me that he knows where to find all the public toilets?
Exactly. Yeah. So what I'd like to see is, I'd like to see an app, and let me know if you agree with this or you think this, I'm on the wrong wavelength here, but an app that uses an API to integrate with people like Ecotricity, Genie Point, Polar. They must know the status of that pump, the status being whether somebody's using it or whether it's broken. If they know that detail, incorporate that into an app with a map, like Waze or Google Maps. Use Google Maps perhaps. Incorporate that information into the app. So as you're planning your route, you've pumped in your destination. It shows you where the points are on the way, and it shows you if they're in use, broken. It also tells you how long somebody's been there, because if it says car charging for 45 minutes, you could go there because it's probably quite likely they're going to be full or moving on fairly quickly. The difficulty will be people like Polar, Ecotricity, allowing a third-party map operator to integrate their data. But it just seems to be the logical way of doing it. You don't need to worry about this for petrol, because if you pass a fuel station, it's going to be working. But at the moment, that's not always the case. You maybe have to queue even if they are working. That information would be really useful. So,
coming soon, the Max Regen app to find everything that you need to know about your
come on, developers,
electric car.
talk to us. We need a developer.
I need a software developer, and then we can make lots of money.
Then we can make lots of money. We'll have an app.
So where should we put all these charging points?
Well, yeah, I talked to my good lady wife this morning about this, and she said the logical thing is to put them where you spend time. It might seem like common sense, but it is common sense. I know they're going in supermarkets, the new one at Worthing, the Genie Point at Morrison's, theatres, cinemas, National Trust sites, English heritage, places where you go and spend some time. I'm sure this is on the roadmap and it's going to come.
But hang on, I'm now going to be devil's advocate here, because you've said that National Trust site, a supermarket, a theatre, a cinema, but they're places where you'd go and you'd be there for a couple of hours. So what about poor George is just turning up in his EV, and he comes up to the point where your car's parked, plugged in, and you've left it for 3 hours to go to the cinema to watch something really big.
Yeah, now at a cinema you'd need to be able to park there for 3 hours or 4 hours. So you'd need lots of, I think they fast chargers, okay, so 7.5 kilowatt, lots of those where you can run for 3 to 4 hours and just top up. That's another good point, actually. So what's wrong with putting 20 or 30 chargers at a cinema?
So you'd have the slower rated chargers outside the cinema, as opposed to like a really fast rapid one, which you'd put at, say, a petrol station that they've decommissioned because they don't need any petrol or diesel anymore. That's never
however, what will we still be alive when that happens? Looking at the current rate of take up, I don't know, but yeah. The other thing is, I don't know whether people are doing this. I don't know whether you're doing this, guys, but do you leave a note on your windscreen if you have to leave even a rapid and go into the loo, or you're going to go in and have something to eat at a motorway service station? Would you leave a note on your dashboard saying, if you need to charge urgently, this is my number? Because I'm seeing increasing numbers of irritation from people who get back to their car and find their car's been unplugged, and they may not have been fully charged, or they may have been fully charged and they've just left it there. I would have said the rule is you never unplug somebody's car, but stick your phone number on the front of your car so they can just quickly ring you and say, you're going to be long? And you can say, I'm at the pudding stage, I'll wait for the pudding and I'll come out and unplug the car and move it. I would, if somebody rang me and said, could you move your car because you're nearly fully charged.
Yeah, but you're opening yourself up to so much abuse. Friday night, down the pub, you park your car outside a restaurant, you know full well drunk's going to come along. Oh, this is lovely, let's give it a ring.
You think
you can
so?
have lots of drunk people phoning you up. So
put the phone number near the charge point. I don't know.
But
I'm just thinking of ways of trying to make it easy for somebody to let you know that the car is fully charged. Again, in the Tesla's world, where there's 12 charging points, they always seem to put in high numbers of chargers, so you don't have to worry.
They put in high numbers of chargers, but then when you actually look at it, there's only 1 or 2 cars parked.
Yeah. At the moment, they're just, there isn't the take up. I've just got an email from Ecotricity that says, coming shortly, they're going to put the prices up to 39 pence per kilowatt, and the next sentence says something like, this will still not cover our costs. We will still make a loss at 39 pence a kilowatt. They've got a real problem with duff, broken units that need repairing. I mean, increasingly, the electricity network looks tired, old, in desperate need of a refresh. And if they're not earning enough money, because they're saying there's not enough EVs on the road for them to make enough money to upgrade the charging point. So come on guys, buy an EV if that's the solution.
So there's all these Tesla points lined up, and there's only like 1 or 2 cars parked there. But then you'll turn up and where there's an ecotricity point, there's only like 1 of them or 2 of them.
Yeah.
Which means you can only charge 1 or 2 cars at a time.
Yeah.
But they've all got different connectors on, and this is where it just gets really complicated. And the average person on the street is going, I don't think I want all this hassle in my life. With a petrol car, I go and always pull the petrol one and shove it in the fuel tank. You've got lots of different plugs and things. Why can't you go and park on a Tesla point and plug in there?
No, that is a perfectly valid point, and that is a real issue coming soon. I think the Model 3s, most new cars seem to be fitted with CCS. Now, until I actually try this, I'm not going to be certain it's possible to do this, but that car's got a CHAdeMO connector. Now, I bought that car expecting to keep it for 4 years or 5 years. I will be really annoyed if all the new chargers go in with only CCS.
It's a bit like mobile phones. Yeah. All the mobile phones used to have different connectors. They are slowly sorting it out.
So the question, again, for you guys, anybody out there know? Anybody got one? Anyone ever tried this? A CCS to CHAdeMO adapter cable. Has anybody got one, seen one, played with one, tried it out? Can the CCS be used via an adapter to charge that car? I'd love to know. Please write to me, tell me, because that worries me that the new Nissan, I think the latest 62 kilowatt, is also got a CHAdeMO connector. Watching Bjorn is great fun. He turns up at an Eon charger in Sweden and it has a CCS plug, but it didn't have a CHAdeMO connector. So what do we do then? We've got our old cars.
Something else for the Max Regen creative department to build is a converter for a CHAdeMO to
yeah, and they work.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Seems as though I've got some bits and pieces to do, so I think we'll wrap it up there. So thank you for joining us. We'll be back again soon. Like and comment in the space at the bottom so you can pass on your views to us, and who knows, we may end up sitting out in the garden again. Don't forget you can check us out on the web at www.maxregen.co.uk, or you can drop us an email to hello@maxregen.co.uk. That's appeared on the screen as well. I can do this and hopefully the editor
I'll put it on there.
Yeah. Can you sort that out?
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much, and until next time, we'll see you soon. See you later. Bye.